All right, people, thank y'all so much for tuning in into this live stream. I'm gonna go ahead and go live on my radio station as well. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to click on. Like I said, man, I just something that I'm just gonna be doing, man. I felt the spirit of God do this, so we're gonna get into this. It's good to turn my mic on. So as soon as 10 o'clock hit, man, we're gonna get into this Lucky Mary here. Um, so man, I'm super excited, man, because for one, I figured out I could live stream, and the live stream don't look as bad, but I have to do it on two separate computers, and two, uh, I like this aspect. So I mean that we're gonna do a few things. So we'll get into this in 10 as soon as it gets on. So let's go. What's going on, fam? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, and I am here today to talk about the state of Christian hip hop. If you want to follow me, please go to chh9.com not chh9.com, yeah, chh9.com /radio to follow the radio stream. I was going to try to do the radio stream here as well, but can't necessarily hook up my microphone to it because of the simple fact that it is not coming from this microphone. So I don't know exactly what I want to do or how I want to start it off, but I want to say, man, thank y'all for rocking with me, man. Rocking with me heavy, man. CHH9.com and also the Lucky Mary brand, man, has really been doing a lot of great things. During this difficult time, man, it's great to have people who support. So I think every single one of you. Seven Adams, let's go. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. So, thank y'all, man. People like Seven Adams, man, great YouTuber, man. Keep up the good work. I want to try to experiment a little bit with this live stream format, but it's also broadcast on 44 Radio. So type in 44 Radio or 44 Radio if you want to style it that way. Type it in. It should pop up and just listen to me live if you want to listen to the actual live feed. But man, where do I start off with, man? So I'm just gonna say it, man. Christian hip hop for me is at a weird place, and I wanted to kind of talk about that. And here's why. I see us monkey see, monkey do, right? I see a lot of people who is very talented, but nobody's breaking the glass ceiling at all. You have maybe Lecrae, you have NF, and everybody else is not breaking the glass ceiling. You have a lot of artists in this community that does a lot of giving, no taking. No, excuse me, vice versa. You have a lot of artists that do a lot of taking but not giving. They want you to go listen to their music. They want you to go check out their song. They want to follow. They want you to support. And it's not everybody, because I know a lot of artists who support me and what I do, not only in Christian hip hop now, but Lucky Mary as a person. But I am starting to see. I'm curious to see if we can make it to that next level, man. And with this whole quarantine, COVID-19 thing that's going on, what's happening, bro, is simply, I feel, that we are going to start seeing Christian hip hop, and we will not be able to stand to weather the storm. Because here's the model that's happening right now, guys. You put out a record, right? You have to get on these popular playlists. And the main playlist right now that everybody wants to get on is Rapzilla. I have a playlist at chh9.com, but it is so hard to get people to take it seriously. I take it seriously. I'm not saying that I'm trying to find validation. No, I'm not saying that at all. But you have a lot of smaller creators and smaller blogs that are trying to lift up the name of Christ, trying to do a lot of great things for the kingdom of God, and trying to edify these artists. And these artists do not want to return the edification, that they don't want to reciprocate that. Point blank. When you reach out to an artist like, yo, I got this platform. Now, a lot of artists, they'll reach back out to you and be like, yo, I rock with you, whoop whoop, and they'll support to a certain extent if it involves them, right? If it involves them and their song, they're all on board. But when you need them to return the favor, a lot of artists do not do the same thing. And unless you're a Rapzilla, where you have a big enough platform, people think that they can benefit from it. And if they can benefit from it, then they will do everything they can to promote the playlist, promote the website, promote their blog posts that's on a whole nother side of the page that nobody gets to see. So my question right now, and I need y'all to, I want y'all to talk to me, man. If I'm looking over here, it's because my screen is over here, and that's where the comments and stuff comes in right there. But my question is to you: what do you think that Christian hip hop needs to do to break to the next level? And I want to talk a little bit about the mainstream. That's why if you start watching my channel, I start covering a lot more mainstream stuff, because mainstream has a lot to talk about that we could kind of take their take and kind of mix it in with Christian hip hop. Because I do not believe that Christian hip hop should be separated from regular hip hop. I think that Christian hip hop and hip hop should coexist. Christian hip hop is another segment of the overall hip hop genre. Point blank, period. But you have a blogger, which is DJ Academics. You have a rapper, big rapper, who is Meek Mills. They are. Oh, what's going on, Jamal? I didn't know you was checking in, brother. I'm talking a little Christian hip hop. You can stay if you want to. Jamal is one of my good homies. He was a part of my program, guys, up here in Fountain Inn. Well, I'm explaining a little bit too much for y'all because y'all don't know where I live at. But shout out to Jamal, man. Good looking, man. I can't type and talk at the same time. But so let's talk about DJ Academics. Let's talk about Meek Mills. DJ Academics is a blogger. Meek Mills is a big rapper, right? DJ Academics got taken away from Everyday Struggle. Got taken away from Complex News. Yeah, Complex News because of his comments that he said about John Legend's wife. Called her a B and was like just rampant. Yeah, exactly. Him and Freddie Gibbs, right? So it's like this. DJ Academics blew up simply by being a blogger, right? Simply being a blogger. But at the same time, he was very out of pocket, and I agree 100%. I agree 100% because DJ Academics, but let's break this down real quick. I'm very curious. I'm glad y'all are commenting, keep them comments going. But he was out of pocket. For one, DJ Academic is smelling himself a little too much, right? He has trailblazed this YouTube media personality vlogger type deal, where at the time he was covering Christian hip hop, not Christian hip hop. He was covering a form of hip hop which was rising in the scene. Like he attached himself to drill Chicago hip hop back in 2014 and 2017. He had this the Negro Raider or something like that with DJ Academics, right? So he blew up with that, and then he started covering regular hip hop stories, and his platform blew up so much so that he started getting deals, and eventually it landed him the Complex News job, right? So with Christian hip hop, it's a little different, but we're gonna speak about DJ Academics right quick. The fact of the matter is that this brother blew up, and he brought him I think an 8,500 square foot house, nice house. He has a close association with Tekashi 6ix9ine, which is a other conversation that we can have, right? Tekashi 6, we can talk about Tekashi. We can talk about all that, but basically, let's keep back with DJ Academics, right? So he's at this point now where he's a serious influencer in hip hop without going through the gate, the main gate, the main front gate. He went through the side of the gate, right? But he's in there. People respect. Yes, 6ix9ine is definitely a snitch. I agree 100%. I feel like with I'm gonna get back to that, man. But with DJ Academics blowing up, attached up to 6ix9ine, one of the most hated rappers ever. Just by let me go off this. I want y'all opinion on this, right? This brother right here, hear me out. This brother 6ix9ine blew up because of all the crazy antics that he did, right? He had the muscle. The muscle was simply the gangbangers, the Trey Bloods that he was associated with, allowed him to continue to do all this asinine stuff that he was doing. Showing up in Chicago 2:00 at night, people couldn't really touch him because he was gang affiliated. He had gang members on his payroll. So Charlamagne the God, shout out to Charlamagne the God, he's from South Carolina, but Charlamagne the God says this: there's no honor among thieves, which I think is true 100%. He ends up going to jail. And I felt like if you did the crime, a lot of the stuff that these people did was because of you. You go in there, snitch on everybody. Snitch on everybody. Come out. God has blessed you with that. You came out in 2 years. You still have a career. And you're going back to the same things that you was doing because, hey, you got to tap dance. You got to tap dance to make that money because at the end of the day, if eyeballs ain't on you, you don't have all these different situations happening to keep you going. Because now that attention and that fame is a drug and you have to keep going with it. So DJ Academics aligned himself with 6ix9ine. And then DJ Academics has a really terrible time getting on Twitch playing the game drunk. Playing the game drunk. Exactly. He's playing the game drunk. And he ended up calling John Legend wife all types of B's, and he's suspended. And he takes it as a joke. He's not even like for real, like apologetic about that. Like he's not like remorseful about that. He's not like, yo, bro, he apologized, but it was a half-hearted apology because the upper management at Complex News checked him about it, and he had to kind of give this apology. And now he's back on his YouTube channel saying that, yo, man, I'm back, man. I can't really talk about it. Ooh. It's like, bro, like own up to what you did. You have a problem. So now he's beefing with Freddie Gibbs. But hey, that's a funny beef, to be honest with you, man. Freddie Gibbs, I don't necessarily know who Freddie Gibbs is, per se. But I know that I just seen the jump blowing up and him and Academics going back and forth. And I think people are tired of Academics' act, right? And I think that Academics was championed because he was the underdog. He was somebody that, people liked because he kept it real. But I think his true colors started to come out once he made the money. And bro, you don't align yourself with 6ix9ine. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care how big he is. I don't care what he did. For me, as a man, I can't look this man in his face and be like, you was right for snitching on everybody else because, hey, bro, if he's gonna tell on them, if y'all got something going on, he's gonna tell on you. And now Meek Mills is going after DJ Academics, and I'm like, how is this going to end? Because it's funny how when online dudes and street dudes kind of interact, especially they do it on Twitter. It's like, how is this going to end? And I want to kind of tie this in. Yeah. I be like, I just believe like this. If you're going to be honorable, if you're going to be like, yo, you no nonsense, you going to just give it and be real, then be real. You see what I'm saying? Like you said, be real. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't sit here and try to be something you're not. Because when you make these comments and then people coming after you, with DJ Academics, his true self is coming out. You know what I'm saying? His back against the wall. I believe Complex News really paid him a grip. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was all his income. I think he makes a lot of money from Twitch. I think he makes some money off of YouTube with the ad revenue and everything else. But it's like, bro, like we in a cancel culture right now. You say one thing that people don't like, and they want to cancel you, right? So I tie this in to you know the subgenre I follow with Christian rap, man. It's like we don't necessarily have interesting topics to talk about. Another thing in hip hop that I wanted to talk about is just random. Will Smith, his wife Jada, and Austin, the singer Austin. I don't know, I can't pronounce his last name, but Austin, not Austin, Augusta. Augusta is Austin? Is Austin Augusta? What? Oh gosh, I can't even. Let me look at to see what it is right now, man. Let me just see. So that way I know exactly what I'm doing. I think his name is Austin. Is it Austin? Yeah. No, it's August. Excuse me. It is August. I am clucking right now because I couldn't pronounce his name, but August. And the fact that this man gets on the Breakfast Club, Angelina Lee, right, says that, yo, not only did I have an affair with this man's wife, we sat down and had a conversation, and he okayed it because they were at a stage of being life partners, and they wasn't romantically involved. That was okay. All right, so check this out. Right, you were super stupid if you allow. First of all, I would have went for August head, bro. Like straight up. I would have went for August head because you're not about to sit there and put everything on blast because he got an album coming out. Come on, bro. Okay, think about this. Just think about this for a second. People seek for attention. I'm not saying that he didn't have anything to do with Jada Pinkett. I don't know, and I don't care less. You know what I'm saying? That's that man marriage. I know that man came to me was like, "Yo, Lucky, you know what I'm saying? Your wife over there, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't be able to even have finished that conversation because we gotta talk about this, bro. Like for real. The fact that you go on there, say your truth, because you know it's gonna draw all these different lies and stuff like that. It's like, as a man, first of all, let's break this down. As a man, how does it sound like if somebody comes to you and say they want to have an affair with your wife with your blessing? How would that come out? You know what I'm saying? Like how would that come out? Like, I'm talking to you right now. If you are a man, if you got a girl, a wife, whatever, and somebody came to you, hey, bro, I'm digging your girl. Let me go ahead and take care of that for you. With your blessing, of course, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to sit down and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a good idea because we like partners. And, you know what I'm saying? I just want him to be happy and y'all can be in this room and I'm going to be playing the game in the other room. Nah, brother. First of all, you're not coming back to my house. Second of all, this is going to be squashed. But because of Will and Jada's weird situation they got going on, they're just so open. This man, she went to the BET Awards with this man. You know what I'm saying? They all, but think about the picture they took when they was hooked up, right? They wasn't really hugged up the way that they should have been hugged up, right? They were just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like a respectable hug. They was close, but it wasn't like super close. Like Jada Pinkett, when she took a picture with Tupac back in the day, was much more closer and it was much more intimate than that picture when she took with August, right? It seemed like to me in hip hop in general that it's a big cry for help. This man is up here saying that he slept with somebody's wife and that he's just trying to free himself. But you, instead of calling this person in private, instead of just, I have a hard time with that, man, to be honest with you. And that's the culture that we live in, man. Speak your truth, right? Like, that's what it is. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. But what is truth? You got to break down, like, what is truth? Truth is basically what you perceive as being true. Like, I could be like, it is wrong for me to go up to an old lady that's 90 years old and slap her in the face. That is wrong for me. But for you or somebody that's listening, they might be like, well, that's a good idea. If the old lady crossed me wrong, she about to get these hands. Now, how is that right? In my perspective, with my worldview, I would be like, yo, bro, something is wrong with you. But if you had a war view, or that's just how you think, that is your truth. And I think too many times, especially in today's society, bro, that people are trying to force you not to think for yourself, but everybody has an opinion for you. All we simply have to do is sit down and be like, something ain't right here. What's going on? Why is this being the way it should be? You see what I'm saying? So I look at hip hop in a big scope of things. We got 6ix9ine, who, so here's the thing. 6ix9ine, when all this Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, right? Did you ever hear him say anything about the movement in support of it? No. It is not. You know, Jamal, I just realized that was your name right there. I'm tripping. I got my glass on, but I can't see. But it's here's the fact, man. And you got to be able to control how you think, right? It's simple. It's like, all right, let's just think. Let's just think about what's going on. What's the deal? And in hip hop, it loves to portray false images that it's not. Like it is. Like look at 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine has all this money, but yet he always has to prove something to somebody. The Billboard Charts, right? Ends up winning number one in the charts. It's not hard to go number one if you got the money, point blank, period. But goes number one. He celebrates like he's winning the Super Bowl. Well, of course, you're gonna go number one if you have 300 something million views first day or so, or first week on YouTube and all these different streams. That equates to you going number one. That is, of course, something that's gonna happen. And also, you're featured with one of the most well-known female rappers of all time, which is Nicki Minaj. So it's like, of course, you're gonna go number one. But yet, and still, something inside of him is like, yo, I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? I got to prove something. You know, I got to call all these different people and say they rats, because in his self-image, look at this, in his self-image, man, he is so hurt, man. He's missing something. He's missing. You can tell, even with DJ Academics, man, he's missing something. That's why he goes on these late night rants, drinks. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell, man, when he's talking a lot of time, it's like, bro, he just be drunk. Like, if he's not at Complex News, he just be drunk all the time, because he's not happy. And so this is why I like what we do with Christian hip hop, but it is not appealing to the masses, because let's say you got a song, you talk about Jesus, which is cool, but then you got people that don't live that lifestyle. So it's like, how can I have a song about Jesus? How can I relate to this person who doesn't know Jesus? And how can I make it to the point where I can reach them? And I think a lot of times the younger generation can reach it better with the sound, but working with you, I work with you. That's my main job when I'm not here. And when COVID-19 comes back, I will be doing the same thing that I'm usually doing, which is working in my local community here in Fountain Inn, South Carolina, which is a suburb of Greenville. I shouldn't have to explain it to you, but some of y'all are not watching me. Y'all don't know exactly what Fountain Inn is. So it's Greenville, South Carolina. If you don't know what South Carolina is, look on the map, Google map it. The problem is, and I've tested the water. I've tested the water, and I play Christian hip hop all the time. I rap as well. You know, the main thing that people say when they hear Christian rap, Kyle Manning's in the building, man. So Thanks, Kyle, in the building. Hey, shout out to Kyle, man. He's probably one of the most famous YouTuber comment person who sits in the comments that is ever known, man. I'm talking about Kyle but he's consistent. But here's the thing I want to talk about with Christian rap. It's like, I think the main thing is that, hey, hey, I said the same thing, bro. It's time to turn up. You know, I feel like this, man, and this is just straight up just me being honest. I'm just pouring out my heart. I feel like with Christian rap, the more sonically we get better at it, the less ministry we get away from it. I had an interview with Brinson. I'm gonna put out probably this weekend, and he talked about like it was more. He agreed. He said the same thing. He said that it's more the sound is good. Like Christian hip hop can compete with secular artists any day of the week, right? But when you're not really focused on the ministry and really saving people, like I want you to have a sense where when you come in here, it's relatable wherever you stand at the end of the day. And you don't have to be so trendy to the point where people don't even know where you're coming from. Because I have, like, bro, a lot of kids that I rock with here locally, you know, I just play random CHH music along with if I do a mix, I do some CHH and I probably do some mainstream music that they kind of know, kind of blend it in and kind of see what their response would be. Now sometimes it is I'm trying to figure out what's going on live stream. Excuse me, I apologize. Sometimes they were like, oh, okay, well, it sounds dope. Okay, Marco, I got you. So Marco says the first thing non-Christian fans say when they hear the word Christian rap is quaint. Exactly. And here's why. Because they think that, so you got to think of how people see the term Christian, right? It depends on the way that person sees their paradigm of Christian. A lot of times, especially in the Deep South, people see Christians that are hypocritical. People who go to church one day and they're praising the Lord, they're hallelujah, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Jesus. But as soon as they leave that church parking lot, they pick up a pack of cigarettes, they may beat their wives. You know what I'm saying? They do not see any difference between somebody who is in the world and somebody who is of Jesus Christ. And the Bible speaks about if you belong to Jesus, then you should have fruit. I should be able to look at you like, man, something different about this brother, right? A lot of people don't necessarily understand that. So when you hear a Christian rapper, you already have that paradigm in your head, first and foremost. This is going to be whack. And then two, some people will give you a listen, right? Some people will give you a listen. You don't. Here's the funny thing. You do not have to say, I'm a Christian rapper for people know that you relate to Jesus Christ. A lot of times when I give people my music locally, they 10 seconds into it, bro, you some type of Christian rapper? I've not said nothing about Jesus. I just, they can tell by my demeanor as they talk to me. And then when I give them my CD, they're like, yo, you some type of Christian rapper. They make that connection already. And I think that if a lot of times what Christian rappers need to do is their life has to be their testimony for their music and not the other way around. I think so many artists today want their music to be their testimony versus their lifestyle. And I think that the Christian hip hop community is getting tired of just seeing all these different people, you know, jumping in, but not really doing anything. It's hard to tell. So Marco said Dayton posted a tweet today that relates to what you're saying. And so Too Cool Killer said also people like what they majority like and who's most known. Yeah, it is. It is. So if we do the mainstream world, let's break down the mainstream hip hop and then we're gonna go into Christian hip hop. So the mainstream hip hop, simple. The one who is heard the most wins. Period. Right? You don't necessarily have to be the most talented, you don't have to necessarily have the right. You can record a song on a phone, release it on SoundCloud, and it blows up. And it's not because of technically it sounds good, but because you're the most heard, or people gravitate towards you. Now you may have some rare occasions where somebody comes in the midst of despair, you know what I'm saying, from the bottom, rise to the top. But more than likely that doesn't. So typically what happens is that people simply just the loudest person wins. Same thing with Christian hip hop. The loudest person wins usually. It's the person that's most known. It's the person that is connected with the most people that can get their voices heard. And I think that as the Christian rapper, we need to champion people who live for Christ for real, and model that through their life. And you can see that not only from them, but people and their followers testing and testifying and saying, look, man, this brother's legit. And I think that when we truly get back to ministry, when we go and truly care, not for the numbers. And I think a lot of people, they look at these numbers, they look at the streaming numbers, they look at all these different vanity numbers that you can make up. And they base their success off of those numbers. And they do not base their success off of Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone. And I think that the problem with Christian rap is that A, we got from ministry, B, we don't want to work together. And I said this earlier in the stream, and I'll come back to this. A lot of Christian rappers are in it for themselves. That is simply something that is the truth. They're in it for themselves. So if you are an artist and let's say you got a blog, and your blog is Christian Rap Today or whatever, so small blog, you have to continue to persevere because you're not going to get the support from the community that you think you should get, and that could be super discouraging. Now there's artists that will support you, don't get me wrong, but there's people who So I'm gonna get back to that point right now, because I want to touch on that part. I feel like Kyle. Let me get to the point. I forgot my point. Kyle said that discipleship must take place before ministry. Absolutely. So the question is, what is the barrier in order to get into Christian rap? Right? Just because you call you, and I think the barrier now is that all you have to do is call yourself a Christian rapper and be associated with these platforms that can vouch that you're a Christian rapper and you're in the community. Not so fast, my friend. Who is vouching for you? Who is pouring into you? Who is your pastor? What church do you go to? How are you doing locally? Because I don't want to bring you to my church here in Fountain Inn, South Carolina, if you don't have a base for your church and how's your family life. I do not want to come bring people in that is publicly doing awesome. They're on these playlists. They're doing all this stuff. And their private life, their marriage is failing. Their kids hate them. I've read a story about a Christian rapper, I'm not going to say his name, has a big platform, but just recently got a car. Like, you doing all this stuff, and all this stuff makes sense, but you're just now getting a car. But yet you tour all this stuff before the COVID stuff happens, but you don't have a car. There are Christian rappers who have big platforms and they're staying with their mother. Right? They're staying with their mother. Now, if you're a young cat and you're grinding, that is different. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead, my brother. You do what you do. But if you're like 25, 26, 27, and you're grinding, talking about, my album about to blow up, whatever, and you're staying with your mother, it's like your priorities are wrong. Get you a job. In Christian rap, we don't want to tell people, look, get you a job. Work. Paul said if a man doesn't work, a man doesn't eat, right? So why is it any different from Christian rappers where Christian rappers be like, yo, support me. I need to test your spirit to see if it's true to see if it aligns with mine, because I may be pouring more into Satan. You see what I'm saying? Like, these Christian rappers, we don't get to test your spirit. All we hear is your records. And then when you do an interview, here's what I've noticed a lot of times with Christian rappers. You know their real stuff come out when they have to do professional stuff, and their character show when they can't do the simple stuff. Hey man, let's set up an interview. You don't show up to the interview. Hey man, send me this track. Send me this different way. Blah woo woo woo. They don't send it the way that you need to send it to. And it's like, bro, like, how if you say you're a Christ barrier, if you say you follow Christ, how can you do that if the little small details, you don't show up for interviews, you do all the other stuff? And let's talk about this real quick, man. A lot of these Christian rappers need to chill when it comes to online activity, right? I'm gonna say this. I've been blocked before from a few Christian rappers or past Christian rappers because I speak what I feel is the truth. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, right? So a lot of these Christian rappers, man, are doing too much on social media because they're thirsty for attention, and they try to do anything that they can in order to get the attention, right? So cursing is really big in the community when it comes to certain artists. Now, are you gonna go to hell cursing? No, we all know that. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that. But it's like this. You have to be able to, once you hit that on button, as a Christian, you have to take into account of everybody that you're watching and seeing, that you don't want to cause your brother or sister to stumble. So you want to try to be as Christ-like as possible whenever you're online. Cal, let me read what you got to say. So Cal said, pastors, ministers, and Christian artists must be willing to build tents. Welcome to the block party. Yeah. We have to be willing to get in there and build. And I'm a big believer now that if Christian hip hop is going to make this impact, because you see, let me say this, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. If Christian rap is going to make this impact, we are going to first have to see it from the local scenes first, right? Bro, I updated 44 Radio, so if you listen to this broadcast, man, check out 44 Radio. You go to chhnow.com/44 Radio, and then I got Christian hip hop artists that's playing on it now. Right now I'm live, but the main thing that I see a lot is that I see a lot of Christian rappers in the local cities at these protests, and everybody's trying to make protest songs. I think some are genuine and some are trying to jump on the hype, which I doesn't like, but we'll get to that story another day. A lot of people are jumping to the hype. But it's like, bro, if these things are breaking out in your city and you're not the main contact that comes in and these people go to you to figure all this stuff out, and people don't know, man, we need a circle like these Black Lives Matter protests, movements or whatever, and a circle of prayer. They're not calling your name to come up in your city and pray for everybody and allow the Spirit of God to move within everything, because it's a lot of chaos. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like if you are not that person that people look to when we're in the dark hour, like what is Christian hip hop here for? So let me, so Kyle said, Froggy Raw and Ruslan act like cursing isn't a big thing. Froggy Raw does that, think using N-word is all right. And then Tuku said, I don't think Christians in general get that. We use freedom to do whatever we want and don't care what it may lead others to. Exactly. So Kyle, I want to get your example for a second. I don't play Froggy Raw on my station at all. I don't like his music. I don't agree with everything he's saying. I'm not saying he's not a talented artist, but for me, it's like Froggy Raw just takes. It sounds like when he raps, he crumbles potato chips and just be rapping as he's chewing on potato chips. You know what I'm saying? Ruslan is a lot more progressive. in the sense that Ruslan is, Ruslan has an agenda. He's trying to grow his fan base. He's trying to get these numbers up so that he can provide for his family. He's an entrepreneur, to say the least. So instead of him speaking the truth, he's going to twist it in a way where it appeases a lot of people. And the controversial thing that would get numbers up on YouTube is Christians cursing. I believe that, like, again, you do not go to hell for cursing, but at the same time, if you're speaking on a public platform, it is your job and your ability to be responsible for the words that come out your mouth. And if people feel or think that something that you say is controversial, you should just take that into mind and consideration before you start plugging into these Christian platforms, right? So look at this. So think about this: the N-word. Nobody in my house uses the N-word whatsoever, because of the simple fact that no. Think about this: when Ahmaud Arbery was shot, allegedly this happened. As the killer shot him, he used the N-word as he finished shooting him. What's the first thing that people, that we call them Karens right now, but somebody that is Caucasian or white, that is afraid or in a similar situation, the first word that they go and they reach out to is the N-word. Because why? The N-word is embedded in America's society so much so that is the word identified to black people, right? So why do I say that word when the meaning is so impactful? And a lot of people have been like, yo, we're going to change the way the word means. We've been trying to change the way what the N-word sound like for years, and we haven't came up with a different meaning, to say the least. So Marco said, it's hard to remove cursing in Christian rap today. It's practically in the system now. Yep. So Kyle said, doesn't think, okay, so Kyle said, the Holy Spirit ain't leading no one to curse. I agree with that. I agree that with cursing, it is a learned behavior, right? It's a learned behavior. Because let's face it, we don't come out the womb saying bleep this, bleep that, F that, be that. We don't hear that. We're around our surroundings and we hear the surroundings around us, right? So we pick up on this different language. So that's a form that we learn to communicate with. Just as you learn that form to communication, you can learn a different way of communication without using profane language, right? So a lot of people feel like, oh man, I can say what I want to say. You can, but when you come in the public domain, like Christian rap, right? Like Christian rap, I don't want to hear you cursing. Oh, you can't tell me what I can make or what I can say. Then go to the mainstream platforms. Go to the Breakfast Club. Go to any local hip hop station and put your record out there and see what it does. It ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing. So Marcos, you're right. It's like what people want to do is they want to push the boundary of Christian rap. They want to build their platform here, and then they want to take their platform and try to maneuver a fan base and a career, and that's not going to happen, man. The Lord does not. Bro, think about why nobody in the past 10 years, in the past 10 years, have truly made a mainstream success. We can talk about the rich guys, but excluding the rich guys, anybody else that has even attempted close to really do what Kanye. Let's talk about Kanye West. A lot of people say that, yo, I can't be a Christian rapper. The argument has always been, I'm not a rapper who's a Christian rapper, right? That's the argument. To say the least. So, what you're telling me is, if Kanye West can have an album called Jesus is King, right? Now, Kyle, I know what you're saying about Kanye West. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying in the general sense, it's like Jesus is King. If he can have that album goes #1 in the country, why can't there be a true Christian rapper who is living for Jesus, who is being discipled, who is grooming and is building it the right way. Why can't somebody else have the same, if not bigger, platform? So, Two Cool Killers said, what do y'all think about Shale Baraka using it in the material of the N word? Okay, so Shale Baraka is, and this is my opinion, I do not think the word should be said at all. I do not like what the word means. Personally, I don't agree with that. I think that I just think that, man, every time I watch a documentary, and think about the documentary back in the day, when you hear white people, perfect example, when we was watching that documentary about the kids and them being, it was in New York out of all places, and they were just riding their bikes, and then they rode right into a crowd that was protesting against the black people moving in their neighborhood. And then all these white kids swarmed these black kids that was riding their bike and jerking their bike, calling them the N-word and all that stuff. And you felt the racism oozing out their mouth as they said the N-word. Like, I got this over you. And to turn around and to try to change the word, it's utterly ridiculous, man. So I think that I agree with Kyle. I think that Christians shouldn't be cursing or using N-word, especially in public forums, like YouTube, Twitter, whatever. Like, this is a public platform. You have a job to do. You are a spokesman of God, right? I'm not saying you're gonna be perfect, but at the same time, if you turn that camera on and your whole agenda is to curse me out, I personally myself do not agree with this. And another thing that we have to understand too is, like, nobody is truly speaking up. Nobody is representing in the Christian hip hop community. Like, let's talk about this whole the Lecrae situation. I did a video about that like 2 weeks ago when him and Gigaloo, people were getting at me with Gigaloo. And they use the white blessing thing. And it's like, we only have Lecrae to represent the Christian hip hop community. So Marco's, okay, yeah. The Native North episode 2. Yeah, I saw that episode when they was talking about the N-word or whatever. But here's the thing that I want to break down, right? We still have this stigma in Christian hip hop that it's a youth-driven base. Youth-driven base. We can only sell records if we speak to the youth groups and the college campuses. If we're not speaking to either one of them, nobody knows who we are. And I think that that's a place for that. But I think that we can have real dialogue, a real conversation. You just may not be a superstar. You may just be well respected in your community or your region, and that is fine. I just feel like with Christian rap, like, we got to go back to the basics, guys. We really got to go back to the basics. And I see where Christian rappers get mad when people who follow the culture challenge them. And the last time I checked, if you're not coming at me disrespectful, why am I getting my feelings hurt if you're questioning something that I'm doing? If that's the case, now I could see if you're a butt. You know what I'm saying? If you're a troll, click off. But somebody in particular that I see that a lot of people take for granted and don't really understand his position is Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Kyle, I spoke with Kyle, and we had a whole lot of dialect throughout the years on my channel. Some things I agree with Kyle about, some things I don't. You know what I'm saying? End of the day. But at the same time, I respect his opinion. And there's one in particular where Paris Careers, right, was on The Crew, Hip Hop Corner. If you don't know, The Crew is set out of Oklahoma, so a lot of times when they do stuff with Paris Careers, they're like right there by each other, right? And Paris Careers was like, that was somebody who came to me and was speaking about a video that I did, and the women was dressing provocative, and I was like, what's going on? Like they my friend, whoop, 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 right? But when you look at the video, the Bible speaks about there shouldn't be a hint of sexual immorality, right? And this video, even though they was clothed, the way they was doing was in a way almost suggested to be kind of provocative, not provocative. It's provocative. I'm saying the word wrong. It's all good, but it was slightly it could be taken out of context as being sexualized. You don't necessarily have to not have clothes on in order to not be sexy. When they got clothes on, like, well, that doesn't really mean anything. And then he felt some type of way, and he said it on a Cruise Hip Hop Corner video interview or whatever, right? So I just think so. So Marco said that one guy named Adi is the opposite. He's a Muslim rapper cursing in real life, but choose to not do it on his albums. He does it for the integrity. I see, if you do that, I personally myself would be like, okay, I can respect that. Because people still struggle with their sin. So if you curse and you continue to curse, it's all good. It's all good. But I'm not really feeling that, man. So I think that with this right here, it is I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling where the state of Christian hip hop is going, man. So I like this, man. I like this conversation a lot, man. I thank y'all so much for joining, man. I was going to only do this for about an hour. Man, if y'all like what y'all see, man, please hit the video with thumbs up. That definitely helps the video a lot, man. And man, like I don't know, man. Like I'm just doing this just to say. I may do this once a week where I go live on YouTube, because I feel like YouTube is I may do this as well, but also, man, you can check out my 44 Radio. That's what Christian hip hop at, man, and share it, man. 44 Radio, man. That's the site. Yeah, nobody. Except for Adam, man. You're right, man. Nobody's really feeling it, man. Like the community is so like dead with it, and I think people at Rapzilla are like so tone deaf. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else is like, nah, this ain't it. But Rapzilla's like, no, this is it, man. Look at this new video. We can care less about this video. We care less about this artist. I don't. If I don't know the artist, I'm not promoting them. Period. If I don't love the spirit, I'm not promoting them. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how it should be. That should it be the whole time. And Christian rappers, bro, no matter if you got 100 people rocking with you or 2 people, you speak for the word of God and you speak for truth. And you call out people that is not doing that. We should have more people calling out Christian rappers that are not living for Christ. We should have more people calling them out. Instead of you getting on butthurt and be like, well, you know what I'm saying? That's not loving. We're trying to be ripe for the marathon. Okay, we're in training for the marathon so that we can go to glory when our life is over. The training part is not going to be the most comfortable part, but I don't have to agree with everything you do. And I look at CHH, man. I look at these blog sites, man, and they'll be killing me. So here's what I need you to do, man. Here's what I need you to do. I'm recording live too, so that's Review Fridays, man. If y'all want to hear some dope CHH content, man, Friday nights 8 p.m. Eastern time, I got some independent Christian hip hop artists that are doing great. Go to chhnow.com/radio. And also, man, you know what time it is. The entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray here, man, with another just live, man. I don't know. This may be my podcast from now on. Let me read Kyle Manning's stuff like this, man. I'll be out y'all way, man. So Kyle said, one main goal as Christians should be to win souls and make disciples. That is so elementary. It is so simple that it makes sense. You know, like for real. It is so simple, but it makes sense.
The main goal is to win souls, not to be the coolest. To win souls. The second one should be to make disciples. How do you make disciples? By simply living the life that Jesus taught us to live, and people watch you be like, hey man, you're proving that this way of living works. So many people in general do not follow Christians, but we got so many people that's lukewarm in the faith. Lukewarm in the faith. In Revelation, God, Jesus said, you're not even hot nor cold. I just want to spit you out my mouth. Pick a side. If you're going to be hot, be on fire for Jesus. If you're going to be cold, be ice cold for Jesus. Don't be lukewarm. So again, man, as the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, back with another, the Lucky Murray Show. I think this is going to be the Lucky Murray Show. I know I can speak for an hour, but thank y'all for rocking with me, man. So, I'm going to let y'all do this, man. Follow me, man, on all social medias at Lucky Murray, man. But if y'all like this, man, let me know in the comment section below if you like this, if you vibing with this and everything else. But I'll see y'all in a bit. And thank y'all so much for joining me. And I'll see y'all later. Until next time, people.